How's it going, everybody? My name is Dustin Coyle. It is a nice, sunny Friday, January 19th in Boise. Hopefully it's nice wherever you live. You're tuned into Intelligent Thoughts. This is episode 49. We're going to do NFL Conference Championship preview, and I got a co-host with me, my friend Matthew Beckham, back from the West Coast. But let's start the show. All right, everybody, how's it going? As I said, it's me, Dustin Coyle, and today on the NFL show, we got a friend. We have a co-host, Matthew Beckham. As I said, back from the West Coast, here in Boise, hanging out.
NFL genius here.
NFL genius. A lot of people have said that about Matt for a long time. His wife has said that, and a lot of the people that know him. Yeah. He gets a lot of shit right. He's probably more accurate than me. What do you think?
Most days.
Most days. I think that's probably true. I take a lot of weird long shots, and I miss them, I will say. I'm more like Alonzo, and you're probably more like a Kevin Durant. Is that right?
Yeah, missing a lot of shots. Yeah.
Cool. Well, as we said, this is the NFL Conference Championship preview. 2 games. We got the New England Patriots hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. And in the NFC, we have the Eagles hosting the Minnesota Vikings. But before we get into that, let's go back to last week and see how we got here. We had some fucking classic divisional round games.
2 great games on Sunday.
2 great games. Two literally some of the best games in my recent memory. We'll start with the one, excuse me, probably the better game of the two, I'll say. We'll start with
action the whole way through.
Yeah, action the entire way through, high scoring, turnovers. In the AFC divisional round, we had the Pittsburgh Steelers hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville ended up winning that game 45-42. So what are you taking away? What do you remember from that game?
Man, it was a great game. The Jags were up 21-7. Looked like the Steelers were about to come back.
Yeah.
And then Ben had that fumble that the Jags returned for a touchdown. Made it 28-7.
Oh, yeah.
Kept looking like the Jaguars were going to pull away in the first half.
Yeah.
And somehow the Steelers just kept battling back. They just kept gaining yards and having big drives.
Blake Bortles, let me pull up these statistics right quick, but Blake Bortles actually played half decent, am I right?
Yeah.
Did he actually have, last week wasn't the week when he fucked up with the passing yards.
No, I mean, he didn't have any interceptions. He had 1 touchdown, 214 yards.
So that was like his most average week of the year so far.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's about on par for Blake Bortles in 2017. But hey, man, he didn't make any mistakes.
Yeah, that was actually probably better than on par in that case.
Yeah. Yeah, no interceptions throughout the game. I don't think the Jaguars had any turnovers throughout the entire game. So, I mean, they were the more efficient team of the two. But, yeah, man.
Well, and going into it, Pittsburgh had like a top 10 defense as well. I think their defense before Ryan Shazier broke his back, I think they were number 3 actually in the league. I think they were, number 2, and then they dropped to number 3. I was telling you about Baltimore being number 2, which was kind of a surprise.
For sure.
But before the Ryan Shazier injury, they were like, one of the best defenses in the league. And I think really they only dropped to like number 7 or 8. So honestly, the fact that they didn't have any turnovers, and I don't even know how they sacked the quarterback. I don't really have those numbers quite in front of me here yet either. But for Jacksonville to put up 45, I know that 1 touchdown by Telvin Smith on that fumble return was a big deal. And honestly, it actually was the proving point in the entire game. Excuse me.
And it looks here like they had 0 sacks. The Steelers didn't sack them 1 time.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
0 sacks, 0 turnovers.
Jaguars were running the ball the whole game.
Yeah, 100, like you were saying earlier today, 164 yards on the ground for the Jaguars. Fournette, 3 touchdowns on the ground, 109 yards, 25 carries, 35 total carries for the Jaguars. That's kind of what I was saying about the game last week. What we needed to see for the Titans to beat the Patriots was having 35 carries. Just a massive load over there, putting up enough points to outscore them. That was pretty fantastic. And honestly, kudos to Roethlisberger. How about that stat line? 469, 5 touchdowns and a pick. mostly garbage time. But honestly, against the number one defense in the league, I think it's the number one defense in the last 3 or 4 years.
Man, a lot of that wasn't garbage time, man. They were competitive.
Yeah,
throughout the
you're
whole
right.
game,
You're right. Because it was 21-7.
Then it was 28-7.
Yeah.
But they kept putting drive after drive together.
But even that you're right. A lot of that was on that drive where they had that fumble recovery for a touchdown.
Yep.
And really, they did almost win the game. They had to, Jacksonville scored 17 points in the fourth quarter. If it wasn't for that, they would have only had 28. It was a 42-28 game if it wasn't for the 17 that Jacksonville put up in the fourth quarter. So that's pretty goddamn good in its own.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, it's a good game, man. Jacksonville deserved to go on.
So what do you say about that? Is that more... Is Bortles good, or is Fournette that good? What's going on there? How are they putting up 17 in the fourth quarter against a pretty good D? What do you think? Is Bortles okay?
Man, I don't know. He seems like an Alex Smith, but with way less talent.
Yeah.
Alex Smith can run the ball. He's, he's pretty damn efficient. And Blake Bortles reminds me of him in like Alex Smith's like first couple of years when he wasn't making too many plays with the 49ers out west. And that's kind of what Blake Bortles reminds me of right now.
I agree.
He doesn't have many weapons around him to throw to. And Marquise Lee.
Yeah. He had, Allen Robinson got injured this year. He's out he was their best receiver last year.
Yeah.
But he does rely on his legs. And then Alex Smith, like you're saying, Alex Smith right now is a pretty damn good quarterback. His third year in the league and stuff like that, he was not nearly as accurate. You know what I mean? He's a very accurate quarterback now. That's
the 49ers pretty much dumped him when they let him go.
Yeah, but that was deeper into his career. That was like 8 years down the road. But so Bortles, I think, is in his third or fourth year.
Yeah.
He's probably about as good as Alex. Like Alex Smith had accuracy issue, and Bortles is bigger too. I think he's like 6'4" or 6'5". He's 220, 230 pounds. He has a lot of upside, which is, he could probably be a better quarterback than Alex Smith is now in the future. Right now, though, I don't know. I think what that did say. He didn't get sacked. He didn't throw an interception. That's true, no question.
Yeah.
And that's against a pretty good team. T.J. Watt. We like T.J. Watt, right?
The Watt family.
Yeah, we love the Watt family. We always love the Watt family. But in my opinion, I think this is showing you how physical. This team isn't just a physical. They're the most physical team in the maybe Minnesota. One of these two teams is the most physical, most dominant team in football, either Jacksonville or Minnesota. I think Jacksonville probably is. I don't know if they have as much talent overall offensively.
Yeah,
right
that would
now.
be one hell of a Super Bowl matchup.
It would be. But, to me, those 17 points in the fourth quarter, 100-plus yards from Fournette, 3 touchdowns, to me, they beat them up on the ground. They
look dangerous, man.
Yeah, they beat them the fuck up. I think they could do that. Minnesota would be the hardest team. I think, New England's got a good D. Not great against the run. Minnesota is pretty much good in every aspect of the game. Philadelphia, too, they're pretty good. Not as much against the run. But I don't know. They could be interesting going forward. Let's transition here. Let's transition to Minnesota.
Let's recap the Minnesota-New Orleans game.
How about that?
All right.
How about that Minnesota goddamn New Orleans game?
Oh, man. That place was rocking. That whole new stadium was rocking. And rightly so, man. The way that game ended.
Yeah, that was one of the best it's understated, but it's one of the greatest plays in playoff history. It was not quite the helmet catch or that Julian Edelman bobbling it in the Super Bowl catch or any of that shit, but it's, as far as non-Super Bowl playoff history, that's one of the most memorable plays of all time. Obviously, what's the guy's name that fucking missed the tackle?
Marcus Williams. I was just looking it up right now, man.
Marcus Williams.
I can't
I
believe,
feel bad
man,
for him.
Man, he
I'm
played
not
well
even mad
all year.
Yeah,
he played well all year. Rookie safety comes in, is playing great football.
Yeah, he is.
Goes for a big tackle instead of playing the ball or maybe playing it safe and force them to kick a field goal to at least win that game.
And it's 22-21, right? Or is it?
It was 24. It was 24-23.
24-23.
Yes.
It's a 1-point game at that point.
It was a 1-point game.
And that would be, if they got tackled in bounds, 0 timeouts for Minnesota, that's the end of the game.
And that's definitely what that guy's thinking. He's trying to knock the dude out,
Yeah.
knock the ball out,
Yes.
not even give him a chance to catch the ball.
Yeah,
but he puts his head down and launches.
Yeah, he doesn't exactly. You're right. He knew what he needed to do. He knew he needed to tackle the guy in bounds. He didn't go for the interception. He went to fucking end the fucking game right there with a big hit. But he, being a rookie, Probably, maybe for other reasons. But being a rookie, just didn't understand. First of all, the percentage of the likelihood that he would miss the tackle and knock his teammate out. For one, you know what I'm saying? That was probably the biggest aspect of it. And for two, just how devastating that's going to be for you. Like, I mean, it's the last play of your season when you have a legitimate opportunity to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yes.
So I mean, that's and he'll learn from this.
If he goes to play that ball and contest the ball in the air, we might be talking a completely different story.
It is.
I don't know that he even catches that ball because Williams was in a position to make a play on the ball or at least be making it harder for Diggs to catch that ball. Like, Diggs does not turn and run for a touchdown even if Williams plays the ball.
I say you're right. Even if he just does that. But obviously, the conventional wisdom, and this is looking backwards, you know what I mean? Everybody can do that. But you literally just so the other guy, the linebacker, was close to him anyway. Let him catch the fucking ball.
And force them to come up, spike the ball. Yeah. I don't know if they had any timeouts or whatever.
They had no timeouts, and there was like
I think there was 4 seconds left when he caught the ball.
All right, so
I think there was 4 seconds, but for them to get up and spike, for Diggs to even get up off the ground.
And then what we're talking about, a 58-yard field goal, 55?
I think they're on the 35 or the 38, somewhere around there.
Okay, so now we're talking about
a 50-yard field goal.
Yeah, a 50% chance at best field goal. Agree, man. It's a massive mistake. And that could have cost them the Super Bowl. They had the best running game in the league.
Oh, without a doubt.
They're the best running football team in the league. Defensively, they're really good, and they have a good upside for the future on both of those, too, because we're talking about Marcus Williams, Marshawn Lattimore, and Alvin Kamara, all rookies.
Yeah.
And as long as they can keep Breeze moving forward.
And he said he wants to come back to New Orleans.
Of course. Why wouldn't he?
Yeah. Don't pass that torch to Taysom Hill yet.
Man, yeah. Hey, Taysom Hill, man. Taysom Hill's a Super Bowl champion.
He was playing on defensive punt. He was playing on the punt return team. He was the gunner trying to get at the punter.
That's because he's athletic, dude. He's got a hard head, dog.
Jesus.
Dude, Taysom Hill's that's a quarterback we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. The best quarterback of all time, probably.
Saints like him enough to where they're putting him on their punt coverage team.
You got to tackle those guys. He's athletic, bro.
He is.
He used to play wide receiver back in high school.
Even on an NFL
he is big.
field.
He's like 6'3", 230 or something, right? I mean, he is fucking big, dude. At the end of the day, he's fullback size, bro, or like short tight end. You know what I mean?
Something else when you see a dude look big in a college game, and he gets on the NFL field. You usually see dudes like that look a little smaller.
Yeah, no, you're right. You usually do. Yeah. No, he like McCaffrey, like how Christian McCaffrey's a small NFL
looks
football
like a small guy.
Yeah, in college he looked like he was just sizable, pretty buff. NFL, he looks kind of buff, but definitely a dude that needs to get the fuck away from him.
Looks like a Darren Sproles.
Yeah, almost Darren Sproles, doesn't he? A buff version of Sproles.
For sure.
White as fuck. But yeah, fucking Minnesota with the comeback. And let me look up these stats too. I wanted to talk about that a touch here. Final score 29-24, Minnesota at home. 17-0 at halftime, Minnesota. Almost everything that New Orleans did was in the second half in that game. And New Orleans ended up matching them pretty much yards, almost every category. Two turnovers there.
That would have been the greatest comeback of all time. Just about. Minus 28-3 Super Bowl last year. That would have been one of the greatest comebacks of all time.
17-0.
If we're talking about New Orleans, 0
in
points
Minnesota
on the board.
against one of the better defenses, best defenses.
It looked like New Orleans was going to take it. It looked like to everybody's eyes, yes.
Oh, yeah, they won the game.
At the end of the fourth quarter, it looked like the game was going to be New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, they won the game, man. I remember we were watching this together, right?
Yeah.
I remember us fucking sitting here and that field goal that they made at the end of this game, once they got, how far, that was a pretty long field goal that they made right there to take that 24-23 lead. I don't even know how far it was, but I remember it was 43.
It was 43.
Yeah, but that's not bad, dude. Like, they got into literally... At a minute 4, they kick a 43-yard field goal, get in there.
It was a 28-second drive because
exactly.
the Vikings had just kicked one.
Four back, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Kicked that 53. Dude, that was and actually Forbath kicked one at 2:57 too. So 4 lead changes in the last 3 minutes. 4 lead changes in the last 3 minutes. Forbath with 2 field goals, one at 2:57, one at 1:32, a touchdown from Kamara at 2:20, and a motherfucking touchdown. A field goal from... Damn, is that 5 lead changes? Holy shit. Okay, yeah.
It was back and forth.
Good lord. Yeah, right?
That Sunday was one of the best football days in a long time.
That was an incredible fucking day. For some reason, I think that I would have rather seen the Saints this week. I think the Saints